Number 5. Romas Kalanta. Romas Kalanta committed one of the most high-profile self-immolation protests in recent history. The high school student from Lithuania occurred on May 14, 1972, in front of the Kaunas Musical Theatre near Laisvės, the same location where the People's Seimas declared establishment of the Lithuanian SSR in 1940. Kalanta covered himself in gasoline and set himself ablaze, succumbing to his burn injuries some 14 hours later. His death provoked a number of post-war riots as well as at least 13 other self-immolation suicides. While Soviet propaganda described Kalanta as mentally ill, Lithuania saw his suicide as a statement of solidarity and posthumously awarded Kalanta the Order of the Cross of Vytis, an honor for those who heroically defended Lithuania's freedom and independence, in 2000. Number 4. Jodon F. Romero. On September 28, 2012, Jodon F. Romero, already wanted for a parole violation, stole a .40 caliber at gunpoint in Phoenix, Arizona. He was soon located by local law enforcement officers who followed for a high-speed chase. At one point, Romero fired his gun towards police cars and a police helicopter, though no one was hit. He continued to evade police until 75 miles outside of Phoenix. He pulled into the desert, stopped the car, pulled out a handgun, and shot himself in the head. Of the many local and national television news stations that were covering the police chase live, Fox News went as far as airing the suicide on national television, though on a 5-second delay. News anchor Shepard Smith immediately apologized for the broadcast, as did Fox News Vice President Michael Clemente later. Number 3. Budd Dwyer. Robert Budd Dwyer, the 30th Treasurer of Pennsylvania, became embroiled in payroll tax scandal while he was in office in the early 1980s. Dwyer was accused of accepting bribes after allegedly receiving kickbacks from a California firm contracted to investigate the payroll tax inconsistencies. Throughout the whole scandal, Dwyer denied the allegations yet was convicted in 1986. On January 22, 1987, hours before he was to be sentenced for the bribery matter, Dwyer called a public press conference in which he spoke to reporters and live television crews about his situation, including his distrust of the justice system and his innocence. Dwyer then pulled a .357 Magnum from an envelope and shot himself in the head as cameras rolled. Number 2. Thich Quang Duc. Thich Quang Duc, a Vietnamese Mahayana Buddhist monk, committed public suicide on June 11, 1963, by burning himself to death in the middle of a busy intersection in Saigon. Duc's self-immolation was to protest the persecution of Buddhists by South Vietnam's Roman Catholic government, as stated in a letter drafted prior to his death. After gathering a small group of journalists to the area, Duc sat in the meditative lotus position on a small cushion in the middle of the busy street. He was doused with gasoline, spoke a few words, and then struck a match and dropped it on himself. Duc barely moved and did not make a sound as he was engulfed in flames. Malcolm Brown, the Saigon bureau chief for the Associated Press, photographed the suicide, and his work was later named the World Press Photo of the Year. Number 1. MarShawn McCarrell. Black Lives Matter activist MarShawn McCarrell was just 23 when he shot himself off the steps of the Ohio State House in 2016. No one witnessed his suicide, but McCarrell posted on his Facebook page earlier in the afternoon, saying, "My demons won today. I'm sorry." Before his death, McCarrell had worked to help plan the protests after a Missouri cop shot and killed Michael Brown. He also founded a youth mentorship program called Pursuing Our Dreams. But his exhausting efforts to build the movement may have ultimately taken a toll on his own mental health. His last tweet said, "Let the record show that I pissed on the State House before I left."